Command codes verified. Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
Hello. Oh, this is all wrong. Damn.
Hello.
Well, they can hear us. They can hear us. They just can't see us.
That's
hi, everybody.
Right. They don't need that.
Give
This
me a
is
moment.
radio.
Let me fix this. I forgot all about having to switch this over. My bad. Hi, everybody.
We're a radio show, Elio. We don't need pictures. Come on.
Right. Who says we need all that stuff?
Don't need that.
We have faces for radio.
We have faces for radio. That's right. That's
radio
right.
faces. Like
Yep.
Like in Brave Little Toaster. We're all John Lovitz. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the live broadcast recording of episode 514 of Priority 1, a Roddenberry Star Trek podcast. I want to thank everybody who is already in the chat. Folks like Brian, Matt Black, Jason, Dave Rutley, Josh. Who else? One chef, one vile chef, one evil chef.
Vile, evil.
Vile.
What's the difference? You know, just rearrange some letters. You get the same thing.
So what's up, everybody?
There's some dogs.
Hello, doggos. And yeah, so as you can see, Roscoe's out. He got his second dose against. He got the thing that Kirk got in 2009 Trek, and so he's unable to be a part of tonight.
Gross. You're still muted, Cat. Just by the way.
Yeah, still muted.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
the
There's a
dog.
reason. Okay. All right. Just yeah.
Simi, what's up, Simi?
Let the dogs finish.
Yes. So filling in is Tony. Tony, thank you so very much for filling in last minute.
Always a pleasure.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
It. I see your hair is about as long as mine.
No, yeah. It actually behaves itself a little more in a ponytail now. A little bit more.
Yeah.
Little bit more.
I'm debating.
Wait, you have your hair in a ponytail? A Tony tail?
He can't.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
you're gross. You're so gross.
A ponytail, huh?
Oh, you and that man bun. Oh. Did you have
It's
to
not
buy-
a man bun, though.
Did you have to?
It's
Did you
a
have to?
tail.
You borrowed scrunchies, didn't you?
Oh yeah, no, I guess I'm filling in, so I'm like kind of rushing around doing the stuff that I usually, and I grabbed whatever was on top of the dresser. It was one of my wife's scrunchies, so I just grabbed it and put it back in here. Yeah, you called for it, otherwise you never would have known, because through the magic of radio, this is just my voice. And with the camera's only here, you know.
that's
So, but you asked for it, so.
I'm almost there.
Gotta show.
I'm almost there. I'm like,
You're almost there?
I'm almost there. Not quite yet. Not quite yet. Well, that's because I got my haircut mid.
Yeah, you cheated. I mean,
yeah, I
or
cheated
you.
in October, so I've only
yeah,
been growing
yeah.
like this on you. On the other hand, it's been a year and a half.
Yeah,
since you got
it's a
haircut.
year and a half. Yeah, this is. I think it may be giving up. I don't know. It's not like accelerating, right? It's like I'm done. Like this is as long as you can have it.
The roots are like, that's it. We quit.
Yeah, we quit. We're done.
I mean, some hair does get to a certain length. It's like, meh, I'm good.
Yeah. There's already enough energy going to the beard, right? I mean, so it's like it's finished. The rest of the stuff doesn't. There's no energy for that.
Brian says Klingon hair does not surrender.
Yeah, I've never. It's not Klingon hair. Definitely not Klingon hair.
All right, why don't we jump into an episode, shall we?
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Hit record. Kat, do you mind taking the times?
Sure.
Shall we wait until the dogs are done? Because they're not going to be done.
Let's wait till Thursday. Yeah.
Like, that'll be a long wait.
All right.
But I can do times.
Here we go. Starting up in 3, 2. This week on episode 514 of Priority One, LeVar Burton shares some personal insight in a New York Times interview. There's a shakeup happening at CBS. Let me just take that from the top. This week on episode 514 of Priority One, LeVar Burton shares some personal insight in a New York Times interview. There's a shakeup happening at ViacomCBS. Galaxy Quest might happen as a TV series. And in gaming, Star Trek Online's summer event gears up. Hello, Captains. You're listening to episode 514 of Priority One, a Roddenberry Star Trek podcast. Your weekly recap and review of all the major news happening in the Star Trek multiverse. This episode was recorded on Tuesday, June 29th, and available for download or streaming on This episode was recorded on Tuesday, June 29th, and available for download or streaming on Friday, July 2nd. I don't know why I said it that way. I was real excited that it was July. This episode was recorded on Tuesday, June 29th, and available for download or streaming on Friday, July 22nd at
No. Shit. You're so close. You had it dialed in right about a 7 there,
I had it right there.
Yeah, you had it. You had the excitement level just right, but the number wrong.
This episode was recorded on Tuesday, June 29th, and available for download or streaming on Friday, July 2nd at PriorityOnePodcast.com. I'm Elio.
I'm Kat.
And I'm Roscoe.
No, you're not. Stop trying.
No, I'm not.
Stop trying, because he's going to end up doing it to you next week.
Absolutely, as I expected and welcome it.
It's
right. Tony, by the way.
That's right, Captains. Filling in for Roscoe this week is Tony Hunter. Roscoe had his second vaccine and it's a little knocked out by it, which has been known to happen. But good on him for getting vaccinated and for the rest of you doing so as well.
Feel better, Roscoe.
Yeah, he'll be back on his feet in no time and ready to make fun of me again. Just remember the key word in American is cheeseburger. Key off that and you get the American accent right every time.
There we go. There we go.
Well, we want to welcome new listeners to the show and help you stay in touch. You see, the show is produced by a community of volunteers who donate their time and talents because, like you, they're passionate about what Star Trek is all about.
So, Captains, we encourage you to get involved in our production. We are a community-driven podcast. That means that everybody here is a volunteer that donates their time and talents to producing this show from week to week. So, if you happen to have some time and you have some experience producing a podcast, editing audio, you name it, there's something that you can do to help support the show. So, reach out to us at PriorityOnePodcast.com. Now, if you don't have time, perhaps you have a few extra dollars to support the show. Visit us over at patreon.com/PriorityOne to join our Patreon family and get some exclusive perks exclusive to our patrons. And speaking of patrons, we got to welcome our newest addition to the family, Clayton.
Oh, sorry. Welcome, Clayton.
And go.
I was trying to read the chat in the window, but it wasn't working. No matter what, our corner of this community is always eager to include more members and share in the passion we all have for Star Trek. So visit us at PriorityOnePodcast.com and learn about... dang it. So visit us at PriorityOnePodcast.com and learn about all the ways you can help shape our little corner of the Star Trek multiverse, whether by joining our team, becoming a patron, or being a part of the conversation by joining our communities, like the ones we have on social media. Oh, nope. So visit us at PriorityOnePodcast.com and learn about all the ways you can help shape our little corner of the Star Trek multiverse, whether by joining our team. Damn it.
What?
I have to cough now.
Oh.
I thought I had to sneeze.
Oh no! Sneeze, cough, and laugh all at the same time.
I know,
That's
I'm
gonna
dying.
hurt. That's good.
All right, let me try that again. So visit us at PriorityOnePodcast.com and learn about all the ways you can help shape our little corner of the Star Trek multiverse, whether by joining our team, becoming a patron, or being a part of the conversation by joining our communities. Damn it. Whether by joining our team, becoming a patron, or balls. Whether by joining our team, becoming a patron, or being a part of the conversation by joining our communities, like the ones we have on social media, or for games via the Priority One Armada.
Go ahead. Sweep us out, Tony.
Well, now let's find out what's been happening in the Star Trek multiverse.
550, please, Kat. All right. Anybody need a break? Or are we good?
I'm good.
Oh, we're good.
All right. So Trek It Out. We'll say 6:15, please. Trek It Out in 3, 2. Oh, okay. I'll take this. Did you guys read the LeVar Burton article or no?
No, I didn't have a chance to.
Nope, I was reading the other stuff.
All right.
Sorry,
so,
you put lost.
Last minute.
You put legal stuff in there. I got sidetracked.
So, Kat, why don't you read this first one?
Okay.
So, I'm sorry. Can you edit the number to 6:45? Start checking out, please.
Yes.
All right. 3, 2.
Several Star Trek alum have gone on to lead remarkable careers, but one in particular has... Okay, wait. Okay. Several Star Trek alum have gone on to lead remarkable careers, but one in particular has been such a cultural icon that he is affectionately known as one of the four horsemen of wholesomeness. Like Bob Ross, Steve Irwin, and Fred Rogers, LeVar Burton is an institution not just to his Star Trek fans, but to children. In a recent interview with the New York Times' David Marquise, LeVar opens up about his career and his latest adventure as the guest host of Jeopardy! The interview is very personal, and Marquise asks thought-provoking questions. When Burton was asked why he wants the Jeopardy! Gig, Burton replied, quote, "Look, I've had a career for the..." Did we not get the expletive?
No,
Darn.
the New York Times edited it out.
What do I bleep it?
No, I think you should say what he really said there, and then we'll bleep it.
But I don't know what he really said.
Yeah, we don't know. Which
Guess what he
percentage
said. You want to guess?
No,
I got a guess. Do you have a guess?
We're gonna end up beeping it, so it doesn't matter.
No.
The
Right.
the fourth horseman of Olsen just dropped the F-bomb. I know it. I know he did. I know he did.
Can we say frack?
Sure. Yeah, actually, that's
Sure.
a good idea. And we'll bleep the fracking. Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right. Quote, "Look," actually, let me try that again. I'll try my best LeVar Burton, though it's totally not going to be a LeVar Burton. Quote, "Look, I have had a career for the frackin' ages. Roots, Star Trek, Reading Rainbow. Won a Grammy, got a shelf full of Emmys. I'm a storyteller, and game shows are tremendous stories. There's a contest, there's comedy, there's drama. If you don't know your frackin' on Jeopardy, you're sunk in full view of the.
If you don't know your frack.
I think that one is.
Shit, if you don't know your shit.
Yeah, I'm like, I think that one's shit.
Yeah.
All right.
I bet it is.
All right. I'll start from that sentence. If you don't know your shit on Jeopardy, you're sunk in full view of the entire nation. The stakes are high. I love that. End quote. Burton goes on to discuss the balance between his celebrity and private personas and how he best engages with.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to jump in here.
Okay.
So this was a fascinating article and quite in depth. And what I did like about David Marquise's approach to it was that he didn't let up, right? They were very personal questions, very thought provoking. And LeVar goes on to talk about, the balance between being a celebrity and his private persona, how he best engages with his fans. He tells a story about watching Steve McQueen engage with fans on set in Chicago at one point. And then, of course, how he deals with his followers both in person and online. He goes on to discuss how he approaches opportunities that might have passed because of other engagements like Star Trek and others that he has had the good fortune of being a part of. So this was I thought this was a real personal interview and honest, really honest.
Yeah, I didn't read the interview. I'm trying to skim through it now as we sit here because I got called in at the last minute to host. But I have been a fan of LeVar Burton being Alex Trebek's successor since it was announced that Alex is going to step down. He's perfect for the job. I mean, people already know him and like him. People who are in that oh so holy demo 25 to 34 remember this guy reading books to them, and it'll be only natural that he's going to tell them about the capital of Mongolia. I mean, it's such a perfect natural fit that will enable Jeopardy to still be relevant to people who, number one, probably don't watch game shows. Number two, probably don't watch TV, but they might tune in to watch Jeopardy because LeVar Burton is the host. I know that I keep on trying to remind myself, oh yeah, when is he going to guest host? I need to plug in and let the algorithm know that I'm watching Jeopardy with LeVar Burton on. I need to make sure the algorithm knows that.
July 26th.
Thank you. Fantastic. I'm there.
Yeah, and let's not forget the impact it would have for him to be host, right? The first black man to be host of Jeopardy. I think that representation matters, and for such a successful show that is a pop culture cornerstone here in the United States, I think that it would reach an even larger audience to have LeVar Burton at the helm of Jeopardy. We can move on.
I don't know what else to say there is on that.
I know, I'm like,
pick
he's
him.
Gonna kick butt.
Pick him. The last word. Tony.
Well, I'll finish it off for you. I'll say that little bit about him analyzing why game shows are so good. I mean, you didn't get that from the quarterback. You didn't get that from Dr. Oz. You didn't get that from the news lady. I mean, this guy understands how to make television, and he's been making good television for longer than a lot of people who listen to this show have been alive. So, I mean, I don't understand why there's even a contest anymore. If LeVar Burton wants the job, just give him the job.
Well, the only person I could see giving him a run for his money is Mayim Bialik. That's the only other person I can see kind of giving him a run for his money. But
she is not as popular.
I
mean, I don't care if she was on that one show, but
and give her another 20 years.
Right.
She'll still be around once LeVar Burton decides to retire.
Yes,
so I mean, she can. She can be the understudy, but she'll come in and sub in when LeVar wants a vacation.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, in case anyone out there was not aware, The streaming wars have begun and are ongoing because now Comcast is joining the battle. It has been said by sources, radio quotes, that Comcast CEO Brian Roberts has been wrestling with whether or not to build or buy to...
Whether to. Right.
Whether to build or buy to become...
Right.
Whether to build or to buy to become...
I see, okay.
That.
It has been said... let me take it from the top. Now, in case anyone out there was not aware, the streaming wars have begun. And now Comcast is joining the battle. It has been said by sources that Comcast CEO Brian Roberts has been wrestling with whether or not to build or to buy to become a streaming powerhouse. He's considering a move similar to how ViacomCBS, Disney, and Amazon have struck mergers meant to supercharge their stream... have struck mergers meant to supercharge their streaming efforts. Mr. Roberts, known as an aggressive deal maker in his 2 decades leading Comcast, has told people close to him that he doesn't feel a need to seek a merger, but he is scoping out options. And ideas on the table include a potential tie-up with ViacomCBS Incorporated or an acquisition of Roku Incorporated. Now, every network and content provider wants to be a streaming powerhouse. And in an effort to better prioritize streaming, executive teams continue to reshuffle, including the team at ViacomCBS. Another restructure within the company was announced this week that included several promotions. Did I stumble on promotions, or was that in my head?
Just do it again. That way you can choose.
Another restructure within the company was announced this week that included several promotions. The new team exec will focus on... The new executive team will focus on content groups rather than specific network oversight, with each newly promoted executive having green light power in order to keep supplying programming to Paramount+. The reorg will see Viacom-CBS shift from a legacy model where networks had dedicated executives in favor of a structure that puts executives... Oh, I see. The sentence structure here. The reorg will see Viacom-CBS shift from a legacy model where networks had dedicated executives in favor of a structure that puts executives in charge of specific genres across the company. This move is fairly significant for Viacom-CBS, since none of the 4 legacy media companies have similar executive structures.
You know, we've been talking about all the reshuffling and reorganizing going on at all the big companies for a while now. So this thing where you get promoted and you're given direction over a streaming arm of the company, that's new and unique. I mean, this is the first time that ViacomCBS has done something different than the other companies have done. So, I mean, what will happen from it, we don't know.
Yeah. Speaking of different things, one of the things that was in that article was that NBC is thinking, Comcast is thinking about making televisions now. So they want to have you from like all the way from making the TV shows to distributing it through their cable network Comcast to putting it in your living room on the television. And I'm suspecting the next thing to do is couches. They're going to make a smart couch that you sit on while watching your NBC TV, while on the Peacock network, while blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, these guys are like...
a little scary.
I'm pretty sure that was an episode of 30 Rock.
Was it? I didn't... It wouldn't surprise me.
I'm pretty sure that was the premise. Oh, it was washing machines or something. Microwaves on 30
Microwaves.
Rock.
Yeah. Because it's GE. Because it used to be the GE owned NBC and they sold it to Comcast. Yeah.
Right.
It's a different take, but yeah, it's the same concept. Exactly.
We can move on. Kat, why don't you... Yeah, read this. Yeah, go ahead and read this next 2 paragraphs.
So, read... Okay.
Yeah.
You take 2 and then I'll take 2.
Sorry, I almost died drinking wine.
Hell of a way to go.
Right? All right. Well, it's almost like we're taking, continuing legal education classes with this article.
Which I did earlier today. Please don't remind me.
Oh no! Is it your month to do
I
them?
had to take one twice because the stupid web thing broke. I'm sorry. I'm complaining. I'll stop.
Okay.
I'll stop.
Well, all right. So there are some new and interesting limitations in place if you want to claim. Dang. Let me start over. And also, I'm going to need a drink.
I think that might be the problem.
No.
It's the solution? Okay.
This is my first glass of wine. So
okay.
The problem probably is there's not a second yet. There are some new and interesting limitations in place if you want to claim fair use as a defense to copyright infringement claims. This week, the Supreme Court refused to review a Ninth Circuit's December decision that author David Gerald and Comic Mix LLCs were liable for copyright infringement because their mashup of Star Trek elements with Dr. Seuss's Oh, the Places You'll Go did not make fair use of Seuss's work. The issue in this case came down to whether the new version transformed the original. The issue in this case came down to whether the new version transformed the original version enough to be considered fair use, and the court says no, it did not. Now, here's just a brief primer on some copyright law in case you were curious, because I know all of you are. If you're a holder of a copyrighted work, then you're entitled to protect your work from other people using it. Now, if someone wants to use your work, they got to ask you permission, which is known as getting a license. However, there are situations in which someone does not have to get permission to use someone else's work, like if you're a news reporter or you're a teacher. There are some other ways you can do that too, but those are just to provide you some context. The thing with fair use, though, is it's a defense to copyright infringement. So you actually have to get sued first in order to prove that you're not guilty of infringement. Sorry, I might have to redo that. I should work on my sentence structure because they're long, lawyering sentences.
I can tell when I read briefs that people send to me that they don't ever like say them out loud because the
right. I know.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so lawyer writing. Sorry about that, you guys. The thing with fair use is that it's a defense to copyright infringement. So you actually have to get sued first in order to prove that you're not guilty of infringement. If you use fair use as a defense, you're basically saying, yes, I used your protected work, but my use is an exception to the normal rules.
So in this case, Mr. Gerald and the publisher, Comic Mix LLC, they took Dr. Seuss's book, Oh, the Places You'll Go, and they published a version based on Star Trek. Now, it's very clear that the underlying work is Dr. Seuss's book, but the Ninth Circuit went through an entire analysis of each element of a fair use defense, which we're not going to go into here, but eventually what they found was that the mashup was copyright infringement because the publisher and the author didn't give any new context to the original work, or the work wasn't transformative enough. If you're interested in either case, if you're interested in other case law about fair use, well, the very essential case to If you're interested in other case law about fair use, the very essential case to read is the Oh, Pretty Woman case brought against Two Live Crew by the publishers of the Roy Orbison William Dees song. So, bottom line here, folks, the legal analysis, which, as always, is good for educational and entertainment purposes only. For actual legal advice, consult a practitioner licensed in your jurisdiction. That you just pay for your content. And if you are planning on using other people's work in your own creative way, it's best to err on the side of caution and get a license, even if some guy on the internet told you it was fair use.
Excellent point. Some guy on the internet.
Look, here's the thing. I got yelled at once by a Star Trek actor who shall be stay nameless. I don't.
Why?
Why not? I don't want
Should we let's play a game and see if we can guess who it is.
to. Yeah.
Animal, mineral, or vegetable?
He probably fucked
No.
all of them.
What? Beep, beep.
So, yeah, I try to avoid using things, but I don't know. You know what? Let me just take this from the top. Look, guys, this is your domain. I don't know anything about it. So if you want to have a conversation and explain this in further detail as to why we can have a Dr. Seuss Star Trek book, go.
You could have a Dr. Seuss Star Trek book as long as it provided a different context, or if it was transformative. For example, perhaps if they had set the thing entirely in the Star Trek universe, if it had been a Paramount thing, and then it was a parody entirely in the Star Trek universe, that would have been a different context, right? But no, it was trying to be inspirational to young people and all that kind of stuff. The same job that the original Dr. Seuss book was trying to do, this book was also trying to do, just with Star Trek type things. So that wasn't different enough. It wasn't different enough in context to be entitled to fair use. Or if you had been transformative, if the art style had been different, but the words had been kind of the same, or vice versa, if the art style had stayed the same, but you wrote it in such a manner that it clearly wasn't all rhymey and Dr. Seussy. I mean, it's really a case by case thing, because as Kat wrote in the copy, it's a defense. It's, someone accuses you of it, and you have to prove why you're not bad. You don't know it until you try it, which is kind of scary. It's kind of scary. That's why lawyers will tell you. Yeah, that's why lawyers will tell you, why don't we try to just get a license? How about we just get a license? Then we'll know it's okay. And then people are like, but I don't want to get a license. Like, okay, have fun. Call me when you get sued, and we'll see if you were right. Yeah, it can be spooky.
Kat, why don't you take this little part here? Now, here's a few headlines.
Okay. Now, here are a few headlines that we didn't discuss but might interest you. Links, of course, will be in our show notes.
If you need a chuckle, a Facebook user that goes by Spock Pointy Ears Vulcan created a video montage of the infamous Picard maneuver. The one where Sir Pat Stew tugs down on his uniform. In this interpretation, though, each time he does it, his comm badge pops off. It's hilarious. Go watch it. Tony, why don't you take this next one?
One of Star Trek's greatest films might be getting a made-for-television adaptation. Well, it's not strictly Star Trek. It's one of Star Trek's greatest love letters, Galaxy Quest. In an interview with The Times, Georgia Pritchett let slip that she and Simon Pegg are working on a new Galaxy Quest project. Unfortunately, there aren't any more details to share.
Georgia Pritchett, what's she done that she's working with Simon Pegg? Anyone?
I just read the copy. That's my job. I show up and I read the copy.
I'm like,
that's what I do.
That's interesting.
And lastly, Noah Averbach Katz, better known as the Andorian in season 3 of Star Trek Discovery and Mary Wiseman's husband, is running a fundraiser for diabetes, specifically raising funds for T1 International and their efforts to fulfill the promise made 100 years ago to make access to insulin available to all. In order to raise funds, you can visit his website where in order to raise funds, you can visit his website where he is selling autographed items and other memorabilia just for this cause. Tony, why don't you read this last part?
Remember, captains, to learn about these headlines, be sure to review the show notes for this episode at PriorityOnePodcast.com.
Who's got the first? Hold on, let me look at something. Yeah, all right. No, all right. Kat, can you see this out, please?
Mm-hmm. Well, captains, that's all the news. Oh, I could if my voicing would just give out. Well, captains, that's all the news we have to check out this week. Now let's find out what happened in the world of Star Trek gaming.
All right, 2820, please. What was the end of that? All right.
Yeah, you guys totally missed the near disaster of the cat in my lap and a dog coming in the door. See,
That does sound fairly awful.
I hid the whole thing. Although if you guys were watching, you probably saw it.
It's the magic of radio. Like, you know, if it's not on camera, it's not happening. It didn't happen. It never happened.
Good times. I totally have claw marks on my legs now.
Darn, sorry. Do you need a second, or should we jump into?
No, I'm good. I still have wine. I can't feel a thing.
All right, so gaming is starting at 29:20, please. 29:20 in 3, 2. Last week, Star Trek Online announced the summer event ship this year, which will be the Tier 6 version of the Rycian luxury cruiser. Now we have more information about this upgraded version of the ship. First, the ship features a Lieutenant Commander Universal, or Temporal Operative Bridge Officer seat, and is also equipped with solar sails, which allow its quantum slipstream drive to travel at increased speeds for twice as long as normal. I don't really want to list all these little details. Also,
That's fine.
Also, the Rycian luxury cruiser can be equipped with a soliton wave generator console. This allows the ship to generate a powerful but stable soliton wave that will draw nearby enemy ships towards the cruiser and deal minor radiation damage. During this time, the soliton wave generator is building up a powerful charge that is released after a short time and will damage nearby foes plus briefly knock their engines offline. This console also provides a passive increase to current and max shield subsystem power and reduced recharge times for Temporal Operative Bridge Officer abilities. All right, let's talk about the ship. Kat, why don't you share some of your...
So I'm not super excited about this ship, first of all, because it's a cruiser and I tend to, like the smaller, faster ships. But it is a free Tier 6 ship, and I'm totally going to get it because all you have to do is fly around Risa for like 3 minutes every day. So it's definitely achievable and not that hard to get. But I definitely love the soliton wave generator. That thing is awesome, especially if you like science-y builds or radiation damage builds.
Did that come with an earlier Rycian ship? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is just... So there is a T5 version that was given away, I think, in one of the earliest summer events.
Right.
So they have been updating all of the event ships to Tier 6. So this may be the last one. I could be wrong on that, but it's one of the last ones to get the upgrade to Tier 6. So, I mean, it's nice if you collect all of those ships. But it's also, heavy on the engineering. And I don't really use a lot of engineering abilities personally. But I'm still going to get it.
Nice. Let's move on to the next story. Right, yeah. Actually, you know what, Tony? Why don't you take this one, since Kat was talking about the ship.
Okay. A key part of humanity's future in Star Trek is the end of the scarcity-based economy. Money is nothing, and chips are free. Well, on Earth, anyway. So, to be honest, when we start talking about manipulating currency economies in Star Trek Online, it just feels a little bit weird. On June 25th, the official Star Trek Online Twitter account acknowledged that the dilithium exchange was apparently not showing offers anymore. But it's not a display bug. There were simply no offers to show. Any offer to buy dilithium is instantly filled, leaving nothing to display. Cryptic's solution to balance the economy? Well, sell more stuff, of course. To draw some dearly needed dilithium back into the game, Cryptic is temporarily adding... Oh, that's not... No. They're dumping it. They're creating a sink. Let me try this. To sink some of this overabundant dilithium out of the game, Cryptic is temporarily adding 10 previously promo-only vanity shields to the dilithium store. That sweet Section 31 aesthetic you've been craving for so long? Well, just drop 280,000 dilithium between now and July 8th, and it can be yours. Cryptic's goal is to rebalance the economy without raising the dilithium cap, which it reportedly has no plans to do. On the one hand, that makes the special shield offer feel like somewhat of a stopgap measure. Then again, it also makes the promo items accessible to players without sacrificing on the altar of RNGesus, something we strongly support.
So I have a lot of questions about this. What causes an economy like this to kind of collapse, right? Let's break it down here for a moment. You went into the dilithium store, or rather the exchange, because you wanted to exchange dilithium into Zen. Right, to then buy ships or whatever in the Zen store.
Yes.
But you could not do that.
No.
Because there was no Zen to trade, right?
There was no Zen to purchase with dilithium.
So I try to think positively on all these kind of things, but what would cause that? Is it a drop in the player base? Is it too many players? Is
it's either a shortage of Zen or a bumper crop of dilithium, or both.
Well, the other issue was also what came out last week was the tier 6 Oberth ship and that whole pack that was
very popular.
Obviously very popular because I've never seen the Zen exchange do that. Yeah. But
why would that influence the Zen exchange? Why would the Oberth?
From what I understand, okay, so when there's 2 tabs: buy Zen or sell, Zen in exchange for dilithium. The issue is that one is always one higher. So everyone was selling their Zen for the highest possible amount, which is 500. In order to buy it, it's always +1, which would make it 501.
Dilithium.
However, that's restricted in the system, so it's just not there. There's no Zen to buy because the first available price would be 501.
But so what? People so people were exchanging their dilithium into Zen so that then they could use the Zen to buy the Oberth?
Yes.
They did for a while, for as long as that lasted. What Kat's talking about in the capitalist world that we leave behind in the 24th and 25th centuries, that's the bid to ask ratio, right? It's the bid to ask spread. So there's always a gap between what people are willing to sell for and what people are willing to buy for. People always want to sell for a little bit more and they want to buy it for a little bit less. And so when you're talking about Zen to dilithium, that gap is essentially zero at this point, because what the price that people want to trade it at is beyond what the computer will let you do. Right now, dilithium is more valuable than the cap. I'm sorry, Zen is more valuable than the cap. Dilithium is you need more dilithium to get 1 Zen than 500. People just want the Zen so bad. Again, it could be a shortage of Zen, people not buying Zen and then putting it on the exchange for dilithium, or it could be that there's just too much dilithium. There are people who are sitting on hordes and hordes and hordes of dilithium, probably saw this Oberth thing, which was, it's funny to me that started out as an April Fool's joke, but it turns out to be super popular. And so they saw it and they said, now's the time to cash in. And so if they all cashed in all at once, then that would cause this. But the remedy is correct. You just introduce a new dilithium sink that you hope is popular. Hopefully people start cashing in all that dilithium. There's less of it around, which means that it's easier. There's less of it.
The price comes down.
The price will come down. The prices will come down as dilithium becomes more dear.
But also, I want all those, well, maybe not all those vanity shields, but Section 31 shield, get in my inventory. Yes. Baul shield, yes. I want all those shields.
That's a pretty hefty sink for dilithium into these shields. 280,000 dilithium.
Right, but think about it, right? So if Kat wants those things, but her dilithium balance is a little low, she'll need to buy Zen, right? And then she'll need to put it on the exchange. And then when she puts it on the exchange, that'll be an offer, and then she'll get the dilithium that she needs to buy it. The more people that do that, the more Zen gets introduced.
The prices come down.
Right.
Yeah, it will regulate itself.
It should work. I mean, assuming that people do want these vanity shields.
They do, because that's why I was saying on the exchange, if you try to buy that Section 31 shield, and I have not checked recently, but it's in the hundred of millions in EC.
Yeah.
Those things are not cheap.
What?
And if you happen to get one, you're super lucky.
Roughly, on average, what would 280,000 dilithium translate to Zen?
Oh.
At 500?
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
the average, every
math.
time I went into the exchange, I feel like the average was always floating around 400.
No, not lately.
No.
Not lately?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been flirting with the cap for a while now. It's been flirting with the cap for a while now. And I mean, this, set the Wayback Machine for 2012. It's been up here a few times in the past.
Yeah.
And it always seems to self-correct. This time, it ramped up and stayed up to the effect that there were no outstanding offers anymore. That's a problem, and so they're intervening by making these goods available for.
Does 560 sound right? Because I just divided 280,000 by 500. It's 560. If that's right,
yeah.
okay.
280,000 divided.
Yeah,
by
that seems
what?
about right. I guess.
Yeah,
580
yeah.
Zen.
560 Zen.
So it'll cost you about 560 Zen for each shield.
Yeah,
which
like $5.
translates
But
to
Yeah,
what,
that's about right.
$5?
When I saw this happening, I popped in and I had some Zen in my account, so I did my part to rebalance the economy, and I just sold the Zen. I sold 1,000 Zen, and it disappeared instantly, and I had got 500,000 dilithium for it. So yeah, that seems about half of that would be about 280, which is that massive.
How libertarian of you to go in and.
I know
doing my bit.
Panda did some research too,
Not
and
libertarian.
he's.
Panda said he had the same thing happen to him. He put 500,000, or
5,000.
5,000 Zen gone 90 seconds. I mean, so
Yeah.
it's still a thing. And this is part of years and years and years of people hoarding dilithium too. I mean, there's it's probably been a problem that's been waiting in the wings for a while, and this is just the crisis that brought it to a head. Having something that's a high demand product. So,
well, that leads us to our first community question this week. What do you think about using promo items like these vanity shields to moderate Star Trek Online's dilithium economy? Let us know in the comments section for this episode at PriorityOnePodcast.com or by replying to our social media posts asking this very question. Tony, why don't you go ahead and read this?
what do you think about using promo item sales to moderate Star Trek Online's dilithium economy?
Wait, what?
What? Sorry.
No,
I thought you said
no,
you wanted
no,
me to read the
no,
community
no,
question.
Like, didn't you just read that?
Yeah, I think you said you want me to read the community question. Sorry, you want me to read the next paragraph.
Please.
For years, the Star Trek Online community voiced concerns that Magic Legends was drawing development resources away from our own big-name licensed MMO. Well, we don't have to worry about that for much longer.
Yeah, this is a little too.
I don't like that either.
I
I
don't,
was trying to moderate that, and I didn't. Yeah,
Moderate it, please.
yeah. Okay, let me figure that out.
Actually, read through the whole thing, just in case.
Yeah. That turns out maybe not to be the case. On June 29th, former Star Trek Online executive producer Steve Urkosa announced that Magic Legends will be shutting down on October 31st. This might not be a surprise given Legends' troubling... This might not be a surprise. I mean, the cat problem
Ooh,
here.
Don't die.
No, just something caught. All right, here we
Drink
go.
more.
This might not be a surprise given Legends' troubled development history, rough open beta launch, monetization controversies, and recent lack of player engagement. Still, going from beta launch to shutdown in only 7 months is a grim trajectory, especially for those who put so much effort into it. With Legends headed off into the serene sunset, Cryptic simultaneously laid off 44 people associated with the project, effective immediately.
Let's say about 40. It was a...
Okay, that's okay. With Legends headed off into the serene sunset, Cryptic simultaneously laid off about 40 people associated with the project, effective immediately. Urkosa promises that Cryptic learned several Oh, you want to quote that? Here we go. Rakosa promises that Cryptic, quote, learned several valuable lessons along the way and will use them to improve Cryptic's future development efforts, end quote. But it'll be with fewer faces around.
And that was a big surprise. And I'm really sad for those people that lost their jobs. But you know what was cool? I saw several posts online of other developers and other gaming companies advertising positions, which way to step up, community.
Well, that seems to happen when there's these layoffs that happen, especially, and this is my view, I don't work in the gaming industry, but I think Cryptic is held in fairly decent regard as far as being able to put out decent products. And so their Cryptic's loss, quite frankly, will probably be other companies' gains. And I'm sure that what happened is that Cryptic, this was a little bit unexpected. I'm sure there were discussions with the license issuer that perhaps didn't go quite the way Cryptic wanted or anticipated. And so they were kind of forced to make these moves and didn't have something else in the pipeline, which Cryptic normally would have. They're always looking to the next project, right? Whenever since we've been interviewing these guys, they always have something else in the pipeline. And if they got thrown a curveball from their license holder, they might not have had something ready to transition those people into, which I strongly suspect is what happened. Everyone's very quiet, and it is sad. But do we want to discuss this anymore? But
I'm trying to.
Yeah, I'm just shocked.
Yeah, we don't have to keep going.
Yeah. I thought they were doing okay.
I played it. I'm not a Magic fan, but I played the game, and it was perfect. It was a perfectly competent MMO. It just wasn't exciting to me, either from an IP standpoint or really from a play standpoint. It was fine. Again, it's a Cryptic product. There's going to be it's going to be good. It's going to be perfectly acceptable and functional, but it just didn't excite me, and that's just me. I like Dungeons and Dragons, and Magic is kind of related to that.
There's certainly a lot that we're never going to know about unless somebody actually reports on it and has the behind the scenes. Clearly, this wasn't a decision solely on Cryptic's shoulders, because if you look at other games that are still going on, they still have Champions running, right? Champions is, arguably one of their least popular titles, but the servers are still up and running. We'll never know, but it is good to see, Kat, like you pointed out, that other gaming companies had already stepped up and were, messaging and tweeting that people should apply. According to a tweet from somebody who was let go, a sound editor, a sound engineer, that was let go, it was only the Magic the Gathering's team, and no other department, no other person was let go from any of the other games. So again,
they got thrown a curveball by Hasbro.
Again, something must have gone awry, and it's unfortunate because during these incredibly difficult times, that's the last thing I would want to worry about. But hopefully they'll be able to land on their feet and they won't go without a job for too long.
Yeah, Hasbro has so many irons in the fire. They're licensing things left and right. They're publishing books, and they're just going nuts trying to capitalize on the popularity of D&D and tabletop gaming. So
I've just never seen a game sunset this quickly like that. I mean, look at Star Citizen, for Christ's sake.
do not get me started on that. But this definitely smacks of a meeting that went south, and the numbers probably weren't great, but this is not the Cryptic way of doing things. I don't. This doesn't.
Highly unusual for this to happen. I mean, even for other games, you just don't hear.
No, this happens all the time. Like for Sony, when they sunset MMOs, it's just mass layoffs and all other kind of stuff. But we've been hanging out with the Cryptic guys for years and years and years, and we kind of have a feel for their rhythm and how they do things and why they've been a successful company for so long. This is very out of character, and this was a meeting that went wrong, and Hasbro, with too many irons in the fire, going, we just don't feel it anymore.
Which is scary because
revenue projections are not in line with our target.
Bingo.
Which is scary, right? Because that means that any of the other licensors could do the same thing But that's, again, we don't want to. There's no point in speculating. There's no point in adding fuel to any fires.
Yeah, yes, but I think the reading the tea leaves, Elio, what you just said there about the licensor, I think that might have been the lesson that Cryptic learned. That I strongly suspect that Mr. Rakosa, who we've interviewed him a number of times and got to know him a little bit,
and did amazing things for Star Trek.
He did really well for Star. Yeah, again, this isn't a wet behind the ears newbie or some kind of some nutcase. It's Rakosa. He's all right. He's pretty sharp guy. I strongly suspect that was part of the lessons learned, is that when you got somebody, when you make a deal with somebody, there are perhaps some additional safeguards that we need to bargain for in the process,
right.
So that we don't get whiplashed like this.
You guys might know an IP lawyer who can help you with these licensing issues.
And somebody who works in the oil and gas field where screwing over your partner is like second nature. So you hire Kat and Tony to look over your next deal for you. We'll take good care of you.
I would love to look at those license deals. That would be amazing.
Well, that's the news from Star Trek Gaming. And with that, it wraps up episode 514 of Priority One, a Roddenberry Star Trek podcast. But actually, you know what, Kat? 49:50.
I was like, what's the time?
49:50, sorry. That wraps up episode 500. 49:50. Let me take it from. Well, that's it for gaming news and episode 514 of Priority One, a Roddenberry Star Trek podcast. But there are more great shows available to you on the Roddenberry Podcast Network. Just visit podcasts.roddenberry.com for a complete list. Then be sure to subscribe to them all and share them with your friends. Okay.
Sorry, I did not have. Wait a minute. Whoops, I have the wrong. Wait.
Yeah, there's no feedback. This is all old stuff.
Okay, then I just need to scroll down.
What? Nobody wrote in to express their opinions?
No, we need a social media manager. So if anybody wants to work on social media for us that's listening live now, then
yeah, that'd be awesome. But we can't forget to send a special thanks to It's been a day. But we can't forget to send a special thanks to some of our Patreon supporters like David K. Rutley, Peter Archibald, and Gerald Bosch.
And here's a reminder of our community question this week. What do you think about using promotional items? What do you think about using promo item sales to moderate Star Trek Online's dilithium economy?
Captains, it's important to us that you get your voice heard and that you participate in the conversation. Leave us a comment on our website at PriorityOnePodcast.com, on our Facebook page at Facebook. How many times have I read this? At Facebook.com/PriorityOnePodcast, or find us on Twitter and Instagram at PriorityOnePod.
And if you're still craving more, be sure to spend time with Winters, Anthony, Thomas, Gray, me, plus the rest of the Priority One Armada. Saturday nights, the Armada broadcasts live to review the latest news from Star Trek Online and the Armada community, including spotlighting some of our amazing members. With regular giveaways, there's something for all Stowe players, whether you're new or a veteran. Follow us on all our social media accounts for broadcast times. And if you'd like to join the Armada, visit PriorityOneArmada.com.
This episode of Priority One is brought to you by our patrons through patreon.com. Captains, during these difficult times, we are humbled by the continued support of our patrons who find value in the content we produce each and every week. To find out how you can support the show, visit patreon.com/Priority One.
Don't forget to tune into Priority One Productions' Guard Frequency podcast at guardfrequency.com. Each episode, the Guard will take you inside the universe of your favorite space sims, including a tabletop adventure played out by your hosts. And Heroes Rise brings you up to date with the world of Dungeons & Dragons. Learn all about the latest publications, tools, tips, tricks, and traps in less time than it takes to skin a wyvern. Head over to heroesrisepodcast.com to discover their secrets.
Thanks to our audio editors, including Gray, Brandon, William, Daniel, Rand, Alex, and Lennon. Thanks to our producer, Jake, and associate producers, Shane and Thomas. Together, they help us organize and write up our summary of the weekly headlines from the Star Trek multiverse. Thanks to our graphic artist, Alejandro, with support from Jason of the Priority One Armada. Thanks to the composer of our theme music, Chris Watts. But most importantly, a big thanks to you, the Star Trek community, our listeners, because without your ongoing support, none of this would be possible. All right, Captain.
Yay.
Yes, Ken. I'm sure Tony, have you seen all of Ken's videos that he sends us on Twitter? Ken
I
from
see many.
Chicago?
Yeah, I see many of them. He the last one I recall seeing was the one where he had us as the Bad Batch. The guard frequency guys we were the Bad Batch.
He's in
Oh,
chat
that's
right
awesome.
Yeah. So yeah.
He's in chat.
What's up, Ken? Is he made a video of you, Cat, and you, Elio?
No, he's made a couple of videos of me.
Yeah.
Well, we're not the Bad Batch. Can we be
Sorry, we were the Bad Batch.
Mandalorian, and I can be Bo-Katan?
There.
That'd
Oh
be
yeah.
awesome.
Or you could be the Boba Fett. There's Boba Fett and
Omega?
Fennec Shan. You know the Fennec Ming Na Wen and
Yes.
the guy that played
Boba
Boba Fett,
Fett
whose
guy.
name starts with a T. His name starts with a T, and I can't pronounce it. Yeah, that one.
All
Tamura.
right, Captains, thank you so very much for joining us on this live broadcast recording of episode 514.
514.
Thank you so very much for joining us.
That was my dorm room number in college.
You know,
I just thought I'd put
I
that
don't
out
remember
there.
what my dorm room number was. Oh well. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next Tuesday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Say good night, everybody.
Night,
Bye,
everybody.
y'all.